Hey YouTube, it's Marida from the Nurse Lounge, and today we're going to talk about, I'm going to give advice to graduate nursing students. So you're ready to go to graduate school now, and you want to know some criteria, or some advice or steps for selecting schools and what to look for. I've kind of did another video specifically for the MSN, but I wanted to kind of group this into a graduate program, and this is true for really any graduate program. I just happen to be a nurse, so I'm going to talk specifically about nursing, but if you want to see what tips I have for graduate students, stay tuned. Marida P. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 16 years now, and my specialty is OB/GYN, well baby nursery, and I am a nurse educator. As you can see, I'm sitting in my office right now. I just finished teaching 2 classes for today. It is late in the afternoon. I have plenty of sunlight coming into my window, and I just wanted to sit here and kind of discuss really different, shall I say, sorry, my nose is itching, different tips to come into a graduate program or how to select one. I've had plenty of friends who have asked me, should I pick this school or should I pick that school? What did I think? I'm a nurse educator, so therefore I kind of know the criteria, what we look for when it comes to selecting students, or what criteria I used when I selected my program. So in case you did not know, I just finished my DNP, which is the Doctor of Nursing Practice, back in April. And this is April of 2020, if you're seeing this in the future. And I know hands down what to do when it comes to picking a program. So let's jump right on into this video. All right, so the first thing I want to say is when you're choosing a graduate program, definitely choose something based off of what you really want to do. If you're in nursing school, you're going to choose a program that kind of feeds off of what you've already done. Nurse practitioner, as an example, and you want to be a family nurse practitioner, well, you need a job in which you should have been working med-surg, or you should have been working any kind of specialty, really, OB, ICU, whatever, so that you can kind of feed into that role of being an FNP. If you want to be a CRNA, as an example, which now you have to have a doctorate to complete that program, then you should have worked ICU, you should have worked med-surg, you should have worked ER, but mainly ICU, and for a period of at least 3 or so years. And you have to have recent experience the majority of the time to go to a graduate program. So you cannot be out of practice, say, for 10 years and decide I want to go to graduate school, because most programs require you to have so many years of recent experience and an active nursing license. So that's first and foremost. Make sure you have an active nursing license, make sure you have recent experience, and that where you are wanting to go for your master's or whatever level of education actually feeds from your current position as we speak. So that's one thing. Another thing you want to look for is, you want to look for, when you look for your school and you're selecting your school, I would say go and look and see what that school's Nclex pass rate is. And you're kind of like, why? Because I'm not taking the Nclex. I've already taken that. Why do I even care? This is why you care. So you care because of the fact that when it comes to the Nclex pass rate, it is a great indicator of where their students are when it comes to passing the Nclex for the very first time. Where there's an Nclex first time pass rate, you want to score above 85% typically. The higher the score, the better quality students that they have coming out, which also talks about the kind of faculty that they have. 9 times out of 10, the faculty that teaches the undergraduate is also teaching graduate classes. So if your faculty who teaches the undergraduate has an Nclex pass rate of 50%, as an example, that tells you there's something wrong with the instruction and or the students in that program. With that being said, if they cannot pass Nclex, do you want them teaching you at the graduate level? Something to think about. So I want you to be mindful of that. You're like, why would Nclex have anything to do with me? Because it does. The same people who teach that, it's going to be teaching you. If they're teaching poor quality undergraduate, do you think you're going to get the same? You're going to think you can get better quality at the graduate level? Probably not. Now, this is not 100%, but this is just some tips, okay? The next thing I want you to look at when you look at the website, before I go on, if you're concerned about maybe the site scores being inflated, you would go to your state Board of Nursing, and the state's Board of Nursing website will tell you the Nclex pass rates for the schools in your state. Or you can go to the state that you're interested in to see what the pass rate is for that state. You always want to look at that. I always look and see if my Nclex pass rates, like the school that I used to teach at, was 100%. That's where I also graduated from. They put out great quality nurses, and they're known across America, across the United States, to be a known great program for nursing students. So with that being said, would I recommend somebody going to that school? Absolutely. However, I have worked at schools where the Nclex pass rate was 60%. Do you think I would recommend somebody going to that school? Absolutely not. Not even at the graduate level. Why? Because they can't even pass Nclex at the undergraduate level. Same faculty is teaching, so you will not have the same quality education as somebody who had a higher Nclex pass rate. Second thing I was going to mention was the doctorally prepared student faculty. You want to check the website to see how many of their faculty are doctorally prepared. If you have 50 faculty, let's just say 60 faculty, and only 20% are doctorally prepared, that means only 12 of those faculty are doctorally prepared. Again, what quality education you're going to get if you're trying to teach above, you want to have a quality education. Now, can you have a quality education with less doctorally prepared faculty? Yes. But if you're wanting the best of the best, this is what I'm talking about, then you need to go somewhere that has a higher rate of doctorally prepared faculty. So doctorally prepared faculty is someone who has a DNP, which is a Doctor of Nursing Practice, which is what I have, a PhD, which is a Doctor of Philosophy, or EDD, which is a Doctor of Education. If we're speaking of nursing specifically, you want somebody who has one of those terminal degrees. So that's what a doctorate is. If you want the best education, you have to, or the best quality education, I'm not saying the best quality education, you need to go to a school that has that there. Also, what you want to find out specifically is the program for a master's and above should have a clinical component. If you're going to a school that does not have clinicals and you're supposed to be a graduate student in nursing, that is not a school that you want to go to. Would you want somebody working on you who have never been clinically trained to do the job that you're supposed to be doing? They know the theory, but they can't apply it to anything because they never went to clinical. You don't want that school. There are schools online, and I won't call any names, that do not require clinicals for their graduate students. And I'm like, why would anybody want to go to that school? Why would you want to go to a school like that that does not require clinicals? And why would I want you working on me when you don't even know how to do it because you've never seen it done? You just learned textbook. I don't want that person. I want the person who wants the clinical site and hopefully had an opportunity to put the theory to test in the clinical setting. That's what I'm looking for. FNP or nurse practitioner who has never went to clinical? No, you wouldn't. Would you want a nurse leader, a nurse executive leader who's in a leadership position who has never been taught or shown how to be in that position? No, you don't. And you're wondering why you have poor leadership as we speak. Something to think about. Now, of course, you can have poor leadership from somebody who did have clinical. I'm not saying that. They could just be a bad leader, period. But what I am saying is a program that does not have any clinical component and you are supposed to be advanced practice nurses, that's a no-go for me. I wouldn't want to be dealing with you. So again, that's my third tip. So today I only have 3 tips that I want to share with you, just something I was thinking about today as I was helping my friend. Of course, cost and, cost of the program and proximity to your house and how much time you have to take off to go to clinical and stuff like that or go to school. Those are going to factor in too, but I'm just saying you would automatically think of those things. This video is more so for those things that you don't think about. And again, the Nclex pass rate for undergrads, people won't think about that for graduate program. The doctorally prepared faculty, people don't think about that because they're like, well, they just want somebody to teach them. But if you go to a program that 95% of the faculty is doctorally prepared, that also tells you that that institution takes value in education. So if they value education because 95% of their faculty are doctorally prepared, what are they going to teach you? They're going to make sure that you have value in your education as well. And when you're paying a lot of money for education, which we do pay for, You want quality, not quantity. Something to think about. To also consider the employment opportunities for that field that you pick. So you should have done some research before you pick the program to see would you be able to get a job right out of school with that new degree or certification or title or whatever it happens to be. I've often talked about how nurse practitioners, or at least FNPs, are oversaturated in the job market that I live in right here in the Nashville area. And so people go into FNP school, but they're not getting jobs. So they end up teaching or doing something else, or still even working in the hospital setting at bedside just to have income coming in because they can't get a job as an FNP. I do recommend you do your research to see what the job market is, and also look at the employment rate. A lot of times the schools of nursing graduate programs will have, for FNPs, they will have the employment rate listed to show that, okay, once our people graduate, this is the percentage of the people who actually have jobs in their field. So you want to definitely look that up and do the research for that, because if you want to be an FNP, but they come a dime a dozen, you're not either going to not get paid or you're not going to find a quality job, and you're going to have to move. If you're okay with moving to another state that does need help, maybe a rural area that does need help, then great program. But if you're wanting to stay in small town USA and you want to be an FNP, and there's already 15 FNPs at all the local Walgreens clinics and Kroger's clinics and little clinics and all these other little things that you have in your small town USA town, then you're not going to get a quality job probably unless you happen to know someone. And of course, we all know people who could help us get those jobs. But again, I just want to drop some knowledge on you today. I think about all the time, what would I want if I was going to a good school? Do I want quantity, or do I want quality? You always want quality when it comes to your education. If you happen to be an ethnic minority who is watching this video, you definitely want quality over quantity. Just remember that. Because when they start looking at applications and looking at where you went to school and start looking at things like that. Now, I'm not telling you go spend, go to a prestigious school, go to a private school. I did go to a private school for other reasons. It wasn't because of, anything like that. But again, I knew that for me to get the best quality education, to get the better jobs, I was going to have a quality education, which again goes back to my previous 3 topics of the Nclex pass rate for undergrads, the percentage of doctorally prepared faculty, and again, the job market for the area that I picked, which of course is nursing education. I will always have a job in nursing education, so I'm okay with that. This has been insightful for you all. Definitely follow me on IG. I will have it somewhere listed on the screen. Please subscribe, comment, like, share. Definitely ask questions in the comment section. Let's chat down there. Also, you can follow me and DM me on IG, and we can talk over there. If you have video suggestions or questions that you have regarding future videos, definitely ask those. I would love to get those videos up for you. And until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.